I've had the idea of doing podcasts for a long time.
Really?
Yeah, I just haven't been motivated enough to really do anything about it.
Well, I'm glad that I can embark on this journey with you, David, and I hope I will be charismatic enough for the podcast.
It's all about entertainment, I think, and or interesting things.
Hmm. Well, it's going to be the struggle. I feel that I don't know what I can talk about with any real authority.
You're an expert on, say, karate, middle management.
Not really an expert on either of those things, though. Perhaps one day I might be. See, I wouldn't even. Hang on. I've just drawn on my computer screen, as in my desktop. Oh no, I think it was just stuck there from what I was. Nah, no, it's all right.
There's a button down the bottom right corner again. At least it should be there. There's like sort of like a little squiggle with kind of a pen thing.
Yeah.
If you tap that, it'll like give you an option, and you can like say take a screenshot of what you're currently looking at, and it takes you to an app where you can draw all over it.
Right. Is it called Screen Sketch?
Yes.
Oh man, this pen just flows so beautifully. It makes my writing more beautiful than I could ever manage in real life, David.
And if you write stuff in OneNote, it does handwritten text recognition. So translate that to actual text.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you want to take notes that way. I don't actually find it any more convenient, but you might. Some people do.
Hello, I am Alex. I am fantastic. Look, that's great, actually. I really appreciate that. I think this whole thing is just fantastic, and it's far beyond my current level of technology. Now I've got to just make sure that I actually utilize it instead of just having all these features and never using them.
We need to decide now. Maybe that can be the first fragment of the podcast.
Yes, I think that would be a fantastic idea, actually. Look, I'm going to add some names to this list. I think we've got a lot of names already. I think it's got to be something that's relevant to both of us. So for names like, black belt and well, let's take out black belt because I think that that's not really very relevant to you in any way.
No, and that's probably not a good name either in the fact that it's very generic. So anyone potentially searching for the exact term is never going to find it.
Exactly, yeah. Probably same with stance. So we're taking out everything generic. Yeah, all right. So I'm taking out pause. I'm taking out optics. Organic blend. Oh, look, I'll keep that one in there. Car. We could be car caddy organic blend.
Car caddy organic blend. I think ideally it's 2 words.
Okay, so it's 2 words. All right, that's fine. That gives us a bit of some parameters to work with.
And it would be ideal also if the .com was available.
Yes. Okay, so again, cryptic toast. Lack of intent. Look, I like lack of intent because it really speaks to me on a very basic level. The Alex and Dave half-hour show. I'm going to take that one out again because it's too. I don't like it as a podcast name. I don't know if you feel the same.
No, it's it'd be fine if we were already kind of celebrities or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Random funny. I'm not 100% convinced. Random exclamation mark equals funny.
That's not in programmer.
Okay. All right. I understand. And I guess our audience might, but the problem is I can't really speak about anything program related.
No. No, that's fair enough.
Tangential soup.
Tangential soup.
Look, I like it. Tangential. I don't actually know what it means.
Tangential. Like when something's tangential to the topic. So you're talking about something and then you go off on a tangent. It's tangential.
Tangential. Okay, I didn't even know how to pronounce it. So I've learned something today. All right, relating to or along a tangent. All right. Diverging from a previous course. All right, excellent. Okay. Well, look, we'll keep that one in there, I think. All right, okay. Ideas, men. I think we might cut that one just because it's a bit generic. Okay, here's another word. Orthogon.
Alex, I thought you used to read a heck of a lot. You have a good vocabulary. Orthogonal.
Orthogonal.
Again, it's like, perpendicular to, similar to tangential, but not quite the same.
Look, the problem is I do still read a fair bit, but I realize I haven't been making any particular efforts to expand my vocabulary. And I also realized the other day you used the word whom correctly.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. And I have met someone who's kind of been talking about the word whom, so I went out of my way to learn how to use it. Not that I still do, because I very much have a habit of using the word who all the time and not using whom at all because I just didn't know when to use it.
Well, it's a safe bet to go with who. Like, even if you're wrong, people aren't going to pull you up on it. Whereas if you go the other way, people are like, hang on, that's not right.
Yeah, exactly. Because really it's common to just use who, and most people use who. Most people don't know how to use whom. But I'm impressed. Did you just teach yourself? Sorry, I'm yawning into the mic again.
I guess so. I don't do a lot of reading and I don't do a lot of writing, but I suppose I do a fair bit of reading, but it's mostly about technical things, so whom doesn't really come into it that often.
Well, it's still very impressive.
I do also want to write more. I have a blog, but I haven't written it in 18 months or so.
Look, it's tough to find time to do these things, but it all comes down to habit in the end, doesn't it, really?
It does.
If you make the habits, it'll happen. But
for a tiny while there, I was doing it fairly periodically, and I was like, oh yeah, this is easy. And then you stop, and then that's it.
Well, that's it, and that's something I really found about exercise as well. I mean, fortunately, I'm actually, I reckon I would probably be about the fittest I've ever been in my life, and I've been reaching new peaks of fitness for a while now, so I'm actually still going up and getting better. But I had about a period when I was moving house, when I came back to Victoria, and I got sick, and I also injured my back as well, and I didn't exercise for about a month, and it got to the stage where I could feel myself losing motivation. Thought, why am I even exercising? What am I doing? Blah, blah, blah. And then I contacted my personal trainer and I just said, look, let's have a session. And I went back and she absolutely destroyed me. And I was sitting on the ground thinking, oh, I'm going to cry. My body hurts so much. And after that, I've just fortunately got back into it again. But it was a close thing, David.
That was just the motivation you need.
Well, part of it as well was realizing how pathetic I was during the session. Because I have my weights at the gym that I know I can do. And that I know I should be basically pushing. And when it came to this session, look, admittedly, I didn't eat beforehand, and that for me, that's a big no. Like I need to eat before I go to the gym, or I just suck. And my legs were trembling the whole time, and we're doing a leg kind of thing, so lots of leg stuff, and I was doing some step ups onto a box, and I remember coming down off the box once and thinking, I'm going to collapse. I felt lightheaded. I felt like I was going to fall over. But fortunately, I didn't. And then it's just been uphill from there, luckily.
So you think if you had have gone and done that session really easily, you would have been like, oh, I'm fine.
Look, probably that would have been part of it. I mean, I feel like you can always tell if you're fit or not. So I don't know if I would have fooled myself necessarily, but I find that I get a lot of motivation from actually killing myself in these sessions, because if I'm not going hard and doing heavy exercise, then I don't feel a lot of the time I don't feel particularly motivated to do it again. All right, well let's try and cut down this list some more. So tautology and repetition of the world in review, that's going. Upper middle management, that's going. Organic progression, I don't know about that. Evergreen, I'm gonna get rid of that.
Yeah, get rid of that.
Recreational, get rid of that. I know I haven't contributed here. All I'm doing is cutting out your ideas.
Well, that's good. That's why I was putting so many in.
Projects Axelor, that's going.
But if you have any other ones,
well,
like you've only got one there, tautology and repetition.
I know, and it doesn't actually really say anything as well. Relevant. Well, look, maybe we should work on topics first.
Perhaps.
Look, I'm trying to think of what I could probably talk on, because I feel like you obviously you have a very obvious topic in tech and everything that kind of comes with that.
Mm.
But mine isn't so obvious.
Maybe.
So the potential topics: sport, games, developing games, fitness, the corporate world, technology, food, gardening. Gardening.
Well, you mentioned getting some strawberries the other day.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
You're a bit of a green thumb.
Oh, look, I wouldn't go that far. I'm probably, if anything, I'm a brown thumb. That sounds so bad to say. Okay. All right. Look, where are we going with this? Okay, so look, things I can talk on. Okay, so you got sport.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Developing games, the corporate world. Again, I could talk on it a tiny bit, but really only in my.
You know, you're going up the ladder.
Oh, definitely.
Every day you're being promoted. You're
I'm,
following.
I'm definitely trying, David. I wouldn't say every day.
And, you know, the office politics and everything that you know to do that.
Oh, look, the office politics is just bullshit, though. Really.
Yeah, I know, but you've got to recognize that, and you've still got to play the part, right?
Look, I suppose you're right. I don't know. I wouldn't say that I'm very good at getting involved in the office politics, though.
No, but even if you're not getting involved, you have to be smart enough to know how to not get involved.
Okay. All right. I'll give you that one. That's probably true. All right. What would I talk about if I were talking to somebody
Yes.
in the street?
Yes. What do you do when that happens?
Well, I feel like I'm a good listener.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is quite unhelpful. I'm aware of that. I'm an active listener, David. So I like to active listen, which means that I encourage the conversation without actually contributing to it a great deal. Which I know isn't particularly helpful in this particular instance.
No, but you talk about the weather.
Oh, look, I mean, the weather can come up.
You talk about politics.
Look, again, politics might come up. I don't feel like I'm an authority in politics. All I could really give is my opinion, and based on my very limited experience with politics. One of my main problems is I think I don't. Sorry, I'm yawning again.
Big week.
Oh, it was a massive week last week, actually. I think I didn't actually have a single night to myself, except for tonight. Tonight's my first night to myself.
You're recording a podcast, so there you go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my main problem with politics is I don't actually really understand the political system, and I feel like I should. I feel like I have all these things that I need to research, and I either don't have time or, like today. Today was my first day off during the week, and you know what I did? I spent it watching a terrible TV show on Netflix called Priest. Have you seen it?
I haven't. What's it about?
It's about a world where vampires exist, and the church basically create this elite order of warriors called the priests, and they, you know, kill all the vampires and send them back into hiding. I'm sorry. I feel like you've put a lot of time into this podcast, and I've put zero time in.
That's how it usually goes, though, Alex. You have one person that's sort of like
The driver
in the host role that takes care of, you know, the production and the posting it online and what have you.
Yeah.
And you have the other person who is the guest. You're the guest.
The leech.
No, you're the talent.
Oh, David, I've got some bad news for you. The talent is not very talented.
I'm just a technical person.
Well, I will definitely do my best. All right. Well, look, let's think of some conversation topics instead of me just rambling on.
I know. Well, you can do, you know, like what you just did then was sort of a review of a TV series on Netflix. Like that's something that we could do.
Okay. Well, I suppose while we find our feet, there's no real pressure to have a formal structure for the podcast, at least at the start, is there?
No. If you go back and listen to some early episodes of some quite good podcasts now, they're not exactly fantastic. Things grow and evolve.
Yeah, okay.
And like I said, through the week we can keep a document. If you see anything that's particularly interesting you might want to talk about, you can post it into the document. And not that we have to spend a lot of time preparing, but, you know, maybe if it's an article or something, the other one can read it. And
yes,
that it could be a bit of a topic starter, at least, you know, for something.
Yes. Okay, no, that's a good idea. The stuff that always tends to interest me when I read articles is more the science-based stuff.
Oh, well, that's good. I like science stuff. So there you go.
Yeah. So maybe, all right, I'm going to put that down as the subject, sciencey stuff. I like the medical science. Medical science is always fascinating.
You should listen to the Skeptic's Guide to the Universe podcast.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty good, and like one of the main guys on there, like they talk about sort of skeptical science things, but he's actually a physician.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's quite good. They have a lot of medical stuff on there. Like not everything's medical, and there's also a lot of space stuff as well. Pretty interesting.
Okay. I'm starting to feel all right. So what I could do is prepare some. Well, I mean, not that I would need to, or not that I'd probably have a huge amount of time to put a huge amount of time into preparation. But if it's only half an hour each week, I'm sure that I could come up with something interesting to talk about.
Well, yeah, but you don't have to necessarily force it, right? Like over the course of your general perusing and however you come across these things, if you want to chuck something in, you don't have to necessarily go out of your way too much. Because if you have to do that, then it's going to be more time, and then that's not going to really work very well.
Yes. Okay. No, that's fair enough. I like that.
I mean, if you have a little bit of time and that's what you want to do, that would be great. A bit more preparation is sometimes good. But, that would not be a sort of required thing. Not every week, just whenever it happens.
Yeah, okay. I'm with you.
We need to make it easy to stay in a routine, is the thing.
Yes. No, I'm fully with you. And I mean, yeah, I think it's good that you're looking at it like that.
Yeah. Because you can get too ambitious and then you do nothing.
Yes. I'm fully with you. That's a fantastic way to approach it. Okay. Just trying to think of more conversation. All right. Well, look, what would I read? Okay, so this is just stuff that I enjoy. So I would read fantasy novels. Again, it doesn't have to come up in the podcast, but just things that I would do.
I mean, it could be entertaining. You try to describe a fantasy book to me, because I don't read them and I don't particularly enjoy them.
Mm-hmm.
It is a thing.
Look, it definitely is a thing. You're right. What do I do with my life?
Asking the philosophical questions here.
Yeah, I really am. Okay. Well, some things, sometimes you just talk about general life. I think that's a big thing that comes up, like how to approach problems, how to deal with certain situations, just every little thing. So I don't know, that would just kind of slide into the podcast though, wouldn't it? Rather than being a conversation topic.
Yeah, I mean, when you were talking about fitness stuff before, like that works in well.
Yeah.
People always find that an interesting topic.
Okay, I'm going to put a birthday cake in the topics because I've just figured out that I have a whole list of emojis here.
Do you use emoji very often?
Not really, I've got to say. There are some pretty detailed food types in here, though. There's a little fish cake. I don't even know what that thing is. A salad, an egg, but it's not an egg as in a cracked egg. It's an egg as in a whole egg in the shell, which is quite unusual. Usually they show the finished product. I don't even know what that thing is.
Every year they add more things to the emoji collection.
But they seem to run from different lists of emojis, though. That's my experience. Android have different emojis to Apple, and
they don't, though.
Don't they?
No, they look different, right? And there are some that actually look quite different. Like, for example, the handgun one on Apple is like a little water pistol, but on other platforms it's represented as an actual like Colt pistol.
Oh, okay.
But the actual list is laid down. There's like a emoji committee.
Yeah.
Every year they say, look, these are the new 20 to 40 that we're going to add to the list.
Oh, really?
But there is actually a canonical list that all the companies implement.
I feel like Hello Internet might have mentioned that or touched upon it because I remember hearing in probably the last one I listened to about the dog.
Oh, yeah. Brady's dog.
Yeah.
On one platform it looks like it, on another platform not so much. So they're both dogs, right? But one platform draws it a little bit differently to the other one. Or it might have been a wolf. There's actually a dog and a wolf.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I think that the emojis on here, because it's got like a flag of fishes or something, which doesn't seem like it would be in a standard list of emojis. This must be different. Surely. I put it on. Hang on. I'll put it on potential names. There you go. Can you see that?
Oh, I don't know what that is.
It's a flag with two little fish kind of hanging from it.
That is definitely what that is.
Will it help if I give you more of them?
No, it is. It is an official emoji.
That's so funny.
It's a carp streamer.
A carp streamer.
Yes.
And that would exist on Android and Apple as well.
Yes, it was introduced as part of Unicode 6.0 in 2010. It's a carp-shaped wind socks traditionally flown in Japan to celebrate Children's Day.
All right, well, how about this one? 'Cause this one's a picture of a cat. Oh, no way. It's displayed as the Mona Lisa. But on mine, it shows a cat.
And on mine, it's just a picture of, like, hills.
Oh, my Lord. Okay, well, this one. That's a lantern, I think. These are all official emojis. Wow.
Yeah, there's, like, hundreds and hundreds of them.
That's an egg, right?
That's an egg, yes.
But what's this thing show for you?
Is that, like, rice? Like a sushi roll thing?
Pretty weird sushi roll.
That other one before was a wind chime.
Wind chime. Oh, really?
It's a rice ball.
Oh, rice ball. Is this one sweet potato?
Yeah, that'd have to be a sweet potato. It looks very sweet potato.
Why do they have a sweet potato? Of all the things you could have, why sweet potato?
It's a roasted sweet potato. A sweet potato, sometimes incorrectly referred to as a yam in North America, can have a range of skin colors from purple to red to beige. Commonly cooked in Japan at around harvest time.
That's hilarious.
If you want to know what anything is, you can just go to Emojipedia.
Emojipedia. And then you just paste it in, do you? Or just type it in.
Yes.
That's excellent. I feel like I really just haven't discovered or explored communication.
Well, originally they brought it in because they wanted to have a way of broadcasting pictorial information when they still had very limited networking on cell phones.
Ah, okay.
Back when it was 2G and even before then, when there was really no data they could transmit, they could really only do sort of text messaging. But they thought if they had a basic set of images they could preload on each of the phones that they sell, when they get that particular character through, they can display it as a picture on the other end.
Right, okay.
So that was the original thinking behind it. And of course it was exclusive in Japan at that point.
But now no longer.
Well, when Apple started selling their iPhone in Japan, they of course had to support emoji because every other phone did there, right? And then people discovered that this was a thing and they could unlock it in any region of the world if they just went into settings and enabled that on the keyboard. And then it just exploded across the rest of the world, and now it's just standard everywhere.
Ah, well, that's interesting. So it was Apple that brought it to the rest of the world, was it?
Yeah, but only accidentally. Like, they didn't do anything deliberately to promote it.
If only they'd thought of that as a selling point.
It is interesting, though, that every platform like draws it a bit differently.
It's a bit of a strange way of doing it, but I suppose there's no reason for the platforms to collaborate, is there? Look, I haven't been achieving anything here. All right.
On Emojipedia, they show you how it's rendered on all the different platforms, which is kind of cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Carp Streamer, Apple, Google, Microsoft. Oh wow! Look at the detail on Apple and kind of Google, and then Microsoft got this scrubby little.
Yeah, they barely look like fish.
Yeah, right.
HTC is an interesting one there.
Let's see.
Giant eyes.
Yeah. the only one that's worse than the Microsoft one. I wonder what made Microsoft go with their design choice for their emojis.
Yeah, I don't know. I find it hilarious though that like at each of these companies, there's artists that are like, I don't know if they're dedicated. They might actually do other things at the same time, but there would be a person or several people at a company that every year have to draw the new emoji, and if there's a new design direction, have to redraw the entire collection of emoji for that particular platform.
Yes. Just I don't know. It seems like they haven't put a whole lot of effort in, to be honest, with the Microsoft ones.
Yeah, I don't know why it has all that black around it. Is interesting.
Yeah. I thought Apple had the option to change the skin color of your emojis.
That's right. Anything that's a person, or maybe not everyone, but basically all of them now, there's different skin tones. But again, that's not like an Apple specific thing. That was brought in to the Unicode spec, and so that should be supported on all platforms, although not all of them have been updated at this point.
All right. Person gesturing, okay. This is hilarious. I can't believe these are all just standard things. Egg, salad, bacon, car. There are so many cars.
The levitating businessman is the best one there, because that was there from like the original days.
Levitating businessman. Webdings Fontes. Exclamation mark. Oh, right, okay. I wouldn't have thought of him as an exclamation mark.
So, what have we decided for the name?
Look, have we decided on anything? We haven't, but okay, all right. So I think it has to be something that acknowledges the fact that you're very techie and knowledgeable in a lot of areas.
I wouldn't say about a lot of areas, but yes, I'll go with the tech thing.
Okay, so the first word is going to be tech. And what am I?
A ninja.
Tech. Well, okay, so the things about me are I do karate. I work in a corporate environment. I'm just trying to think, David. What am I topical on? What can I speak about? I know what I can speak about. Tech and misc.
Miscellaneous.
Exactly. Can I spell miscellaneous? I'm just going to try. Miscellaneous. Oh, I got it right.
Ding, ding, ding.
Okay, there you go. That's my vote for the name. Tech and miscellaneous. Do you think it has the pizzazz that's required?
Yeah, but it has an and in there.
Ah, techalaneous. There you go. I've shortened it.
That's better,
Techalaneous.
but also not great.
Okay.
What about mythology?
Mythology. All right, let's see how it looks. Mythology. Yeah. Look, I mean, let me see what would happen if I did a Google search for that. Mythology is a song. Mythology 101. Oh my lord. Yeah. Not a very nice song, David. In case you're wondering.
Oh dear. Maybe not that then.
Yeah. No. Okay. Well, what's another name for what's another way to describe miscellaneous?
Stuff, things, extras, et al.
Thesaurus.
Bits and bobs.
Sundry.
Sundries, yeah.
Okay. Well, I think you could just say tech sundry. Maybe. Tech sundry. See, that has results as well from Google and stuff. But not many. Motley. Oh, Motley, that's a good one. Muddled, scrambled, unmatched, unsorted, varied, variegated, disordered, different, conglomerate, confused. Confused. There you go. Tech fused. That would definitely describe me. Confused. Oh, that's definitely me, 100%.
Oh, you're not that bad, Alex.
Technologically confused. Well, no, that's not really us. Certainly not us. It might be me. Confused and alone. All right. Yeah, I don't really know, to be honest. I think we're on the right path here, though. Do you think we're kind of getting somewhere more now than we were before?
Maybe.
Mingled, Mixed motley.
Maybe something starting with psi. Psi sundries.
Psi sundries? Yeah. Let's do a Google search for that. Yeah, I think we may have hit on something. It doesn't have any Google results. Psi sundries. Do you think it rolls off the tongue?
It's not terrible. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of half glass
Yep. That's a good idea.
because the URL is taken.
I think we can get rid of tautology and repetition as well.
But Alex, that's your only real suggestion.
Right? Sometimes you just got to be brutal with these things, though. You can't hold on to them for sentimental value.
Now, we could do the Axedel podcast, but I feel like maybe that should include Axeman and or we should talk strictly about the game,
Yeah.
which could be a separate project.
I would agree with that, to be honest. I think that's a good point. Lack of intent, I think that can go. I feel like I at least contributed to the bottom two, or the bottom four, actually. So, considering how the list is kind of being cut down, I feel like my contribution now forms a much greater percentage of the current suggestions. Although, having said that, I mean, I think miscology can go. Now my contribution is again sitting at a much lower percentage. Tangential soup. Look, I don't actually mind that one, to be honest.
It has a certain ring to it.
And one thing I am great at is going off on a tangent.
And a bowl of soup might not actually be that hard to draw.
Hey, that's a good point. That's a great point. Where do you do your artwork?
I usually use a program called Sketch. Sometimes I use one called Affinity Designer. Although, things like Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop work pretty well too.
Okay.
But if you want a good, cheap program that runs on Windows and you want to play around with it, get Affinity Designer.
Affinity.
With an A. Affinity.
Have an affinity to something. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Affinity Designer. So it's cheap, so you still have to pay for it.
When I say cheap, it's like $60 or something, but that is a one-off payment compared to like the equivalent Adobe ones, which is like $15 a month or something.
Ew.
And it's like almost as powerful as those, and in some ways it's a little bit better, I find, for like simple things.
Right. Personal graphic design software, designer workbook. Well, look, honestly, this looks nice, but I really have to find a practical purpose for it. That's a big part of what I'm trying to focus on at the moment. It's having a practical purpose for everything that sits in my life.
You can do the album artwork.
Well, look, I would be happy to. I feel like I need to contribute. I mean, I know that you've kind of said that you are the what did you call yourself?
The host and the technical support.
Yes.
You're the talent.
Well, again, I don't want to put that label on myself because I don't know if it's very accurately going to apply to what I actually am. As long as I'm not the dead weight, that's really my goal at the moment. So, all right, I'll certainly give it a shot, as long as it's not garbage. My problem is I don't actually have a lot of time during the week, but I know that that's just an excuse, and I have to make time.
Do you take the train still?
Look, I do. The problem is, on my way into work, so I take the train, and the train ride's probably about 20 minutes. So I could get something done. But on the way into work, I'm always standing because I'm on a new train line now. And the train line's so busy that in the morning, you just can't get a spot. Usually in the afternoon, I can, though. So there is that time. And I haven't done anything on the game for ages. Well, not for ages, for a few days at least, because I just haven't really had the ability to.
But that's all right. But if you can get a seat in the afternoons, that's an hour and 40 minutes a week that you could do something.
You're right. Well, is it? Yes, it is. Yes, no, it's not. 30. Yeah, no, you're right. You are right. Mathematics, who even does it anymore?
It's time-related math. People always get it wrong. It's tricky.
Because it's not the 100, it's the 60, and then...
Yeah. And now you've got your nice little computer.
Well, look, I do.
It might actually be feasible to take with you.
And you're right. Okay, I think a really important question here is how would I use Google Docs offline? How would I edit the game documents offline?
Okay, so what I would suggest is two potential ideas.
Hmm.
One would be to use an offline editor while you're offline and then simply copy and paste it back over to Google Docs when you've finished with a session, like later
I'm with you.
in the day or the week or whenever you have time.
Yes.
Or else if you have a data cap on your phone that's not too minuscule, you can just hotspot it over to your tablet and then you've got online connectivity.
How do I do a hotspot, actually? I've never done that, but I think that might be the way to go.
It's pretty easy. You just go into settings and then I think mobile data, 3G, something like that. And it should say hotspot, I think.
Oh, here we go. Tethering and portable hotspot.
There you go. Yeah.
Portable Wi-Fi hotspot.
Yep.
What is this? What is this I have discovered?
So you just flick that on, and assuming your carrier hasn't locked it down, it should start broadcasting a Wi-Fi hotspot that any device can connect to if they have the password.
Okay, that's me. Let me just have a squiz here. Android AP. Oh man, that's me.
That's right. And so you have three options to connect. You can just do the Wi-Fi hotspot, you can do a Bluetooth hotspot, or if you have a USB cable, then you can just do it through a wired connection. Of course, now you've switched over, you've...
Oh, that's so weird. Could you hear me?
No, you dropped out.
Because I tried to connect to the Wi-Fi hotspots. Not
Yes.
thinking, obviously, that I needed to maintain my current connection.
Yes,
Did you figure as much?
I did, after I started talking to you for a little while.
What's my password?
Passwords are a very important topic.
Look, they are. Maybe that could be the topic of our first podcast. Passwords.
Because I'm sure you know you have a very secure system.
Okay. Let's just be real here, David. We both know that I don't have a very good security system. Fortunately, the main one, so my bank, actually forces me to use PIN codes that can't be sequential numbers and can't have any relation to my date of birth. So I've had to come up with a number that's just completely random, and they've actually made me do it. I didn't have a choice in this, or I would have probably picked something related to my birthday. I'm really seriously considering just deleting Facebook.
Oh, I hate Facebook.
Yeah, I do as well, honestly.
And it's getting worse. Like, as you know, I never really post anything on it, and I really only use it for like a communications channel.
Yeah.
But on the Mac, it used to give me little notifications that had like the snippet of what people were saying.
Yeah.
And now it just says, there was a message, go to Facebook to open it. And the same thing with the little email notifications if you haven't looked at something for a while and someone sent you a message.
Yeah.
It used to have in there a little preview of what someone was talking about, and now it just says, go have a look at it.
Yeah.
So it's gotten far less usable. And it's just terrible in general.
I'm happy to agree with that, to be honest. I think
Look at my feed and it's just full of advertising.
yeah, so is mine, honestly. I used to spend a lot of time scrolling through it, but I kicked the habit, and it's not something that I miss in the slightest. It was just a habit that I had for no good reason at all. And now that it's gone, I don't slightly miss it. Oh, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. I'm actually drawing something while we're chatting. I've stopped being productive even remotely.
That's cool. I'm glad it came with a pen because, like you say, you might not have got one otherwise.
Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out how to use this eraser, though. Oh, there you go.
You'll have to give us a bit of an in-depth review after you've played around with it for a little bit. But your first impressions are pretty good.
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of what you wanted.
Look, I'd say it's definitely what I wanted. The perfect tablet. Okay, I'm just a bit confused. How do I change color here? Ah! Here we go. There's some nice dark colors here.
If we had a name, you could do a sketch of the album artwork.
Well, look, let's just pick something. How about Tech Sundays? Because I'm just thinking then I could come up with a Sunday as the album artwork. Not that it's relevant to it. Although we are doing it on a Sunday.
That is true. That's not the worst name.
No, it's not. Okay, I want to put that down. We're gonna come up with something.
Except it does kind of imply that it's really just going to be about technology.
Okay. How about Tech Misc Sundays. Size Sundry Sundays.
Size Sundry Sundays.
I actually quite like that.
Maybe.
Look, honestly, David, I don't think I'm going to be a whole lot of help beyond ridiculous names.
Tangential soup is probably better than orthogonal salad, and they're similar, so get rid of that.
I would agree with that, to be honest. I think intent lacking can go. Look, honestly, I'm not going to get rid of size sundry Sunday, but I think tech sundries can go. No, actually, I don't mind tech sundries. Techalanius can go. Probably cyber Sundays as well, because it kind of suggests that we're doing a lot more cyber stuff than we probably would be.
Yeah.
And look, even tech sundries, I think that can go as well, because again, it kind of suggests more that we're doing something techy.
Mm.
Well, there we go. We have two options. So, look, I'm happy to admit that while I love size sundry Sundays, it might not be the best name.
The problem is that it really doesn't add anything to searchability, which is really the idea of like being a bit more descriptive, because no one's going to search for sundry to start with. Plus, if it's combined in the way that it's written there, no one's going to bring that up in a search term.
Yeah.
So I feel like out of those two, tangential soup sounds a little bit better.
It's done. Tangential soup it is. We've picked a name.
Even though it's not helpful whatsoever for anyone trying to find us.
I'm going to make it all bold. I'm going to tangential soup.
You sound very echoey at the moment.
Oh, sorry. I've actually got my mic sitting behind my computer. Again, I keep forgetting I'm using it. Turn it into permanent marker.
Oh, wow. That's...
Yeah, I'm getting excited about this. Oof, how about that?
Wow.
That really strikes you from the page, doesn't it?
Certainly pops.
Okay, all right. Well, that's fine. That's good. So, tangential soup.